basically, I'm Tom Seyfried. I'm a professor of biology at Boston College. I've been studying cancer, um, metastasis and metabolism for several decades. We've done a lot of biochemistry on cancer, lipid metabolism. I work in the epilepsy field. I work in the field of Tay-Sachs disease and inborn errors of metabolism related to storage material, ganglioside storage, lipid storage diseases. And basically, our focus has been to better understand how diseases work and what kind of therapies that we can develop to help manage these diseases. And they range from diet therapies to metabolic therapies to gene therapies. And we've had some success in managing the various diseases, mostly using non-toxic approaches. Well, what I'll be talking about is cancer as a metabolic disease, and primarily how we view the nature of cancer, the origin and the management of cancer. What we currently know or think we know about the origin of the disease, and how that information is important in how we design therapies to manage the disease. And one of the major issues that I deal with is the misconception that cancer is a genetic disease rather than a mitochondrial metabolic disease. And we have to address this issue, mainly because it dictates how we approach the disease through various therapies. So my lecture will provide an overview for the different opinions about what cancer is, provide evidence that it's a mitochondrial metabolic disease, and based on that information, proceed to discuss the novel kinds of approaches that we can use to manage cancer in non-toxic ways. So I think this is very important, because it's my view that although standards of care can indeed help some people, allow them to survive the disease, but at the same time put them at risk for either future cancers or a whole series of health maladies. The issue here is, can we manage cancer without toxicity? Is it possible to achieve the same level of management and make patients healthier after the treatment than before the treatment? So this is a very important issue. For a variety of reasons, people have not addressed this and have focused mostly on standards of care and various chemicals and toxic approaches. So the idea here is we would like to introduce physicians and healthcare workers to the evidence that we can potentially manage this disease non-toxically. So I'll be basically covering questions on the origin of cancer from the two perspectives: that cancer is a genetic disease and the complications and the difficulties associated with that, and then also how cancer is a mitochondrial metabolic disease, and how we think that the options for management and improvement of patient health is more likely to be associated with the metabolic understanding of the disease, and the evidence that supports this in both preclinical models as well as in some case reports and anecdotal observations in both patients and certain preclinical situations. I think the ACAM group is open-minded enough to recognize the value of what we are attempting to do in our research and our collaborative work with other colleagues and physicians throughout the country. And they have been a very responsive group to my prior lecture, and I'll be updating and presenting some additional information along the same lines as what I presented a couple of years ago.